solely from Disney, and we are talking Infinity and new characters and Marvel heroes. And I mean, if you guys weren't already all about Comic-Con, you are now.
Yes, indeed we are. Actually, at Comic-Con, so we have a whole bunch of announcements this week. We have announced that officially the Guardians of the Galaxy are coming to the Disney Infinity Marvel Superheroes platform, and not just the characters, but a full-on playset.
The full playset, so that means like levels from the movie, maybe?
Yeah, so you're gonna see a dedicated 6 to 8 hour gaming experience, actually set inside of nowhere. Which is a location that you'll see in the film when you go and see the film, August 1st.
August 1st, opening night.
Yeah.
Midnight showing, maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows?
No, I'll tell you. So I just actually saw the film on Monday.
Okay.
I had read the script before, and it is...
Give me your unbiased opinion.
Well, yeah,
You're
right.
fair and
everyone
balanced.
watching, I'm sure everyone right now is like, oh yeah, this guy. No, but I'll tell you, when we read the script initially, we're like, this is pretty funny. It's all going to come down to whether or not the actors can pull off all the different comedy elements, and they did. I mean, it is absolutely, it's. I think people are going to be surprised how funny it is.
All right.
And then how action-packed it is. So.
And you guys have it going here right now. We're getting a look at the characters animated in-game. Are you obviously they're inspired by sort of the movie designs of the characters.
Right.
But you have Dave Bautista voicing, the Destroyer over here.
We have a great Dave Bautista sound-alike.
Okay,
And a great Vin Diesel sound-alike for Groot. The thing is that, the guys are busy working on the movie.
Absolutely.
And so, as important as Disney Infinity Marvel Superheroes is, we wanted to make sure that they finish their number one priority, which is making a great film. So right now what you guys are looking at is the opening cinematic to the Guardians of the Galaxy. Basically what's happening is Ronan is in hot pursuit of the Milano that has all of the Guardians of the Galaxy inside of it. They have an Infinity Stone and they're bringing it to the Collector on Nowhere, which is this gigantic celestial head in space. So they're actually going to crash land there after being in hot pursuit by Ronan and his different Sakaran troops. And then Ronan's going to launch a full-on attack on Nowhere, and then it's up to the Guardians of the Galaxy to stop this attack. Naturally. And then, Chris, we take the fight to the Dark Aster.
No.
So the Dark Aster is Ronan's ship, which is actually a super cool design.
Gonna go stick it to him.
And then they're going to bring it to the man. They are going to bring it to the man.
All right, so we're playing as Star-Lord here. We've got him on the platter, which is no doubt not what it's called officially.
We call that the Disney Infinity Base.
The base.
Base! How low can you go? So on there is Star-Lord right now, as well as the Guardians of the Galaxy playset piece. So Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be available at launch. And today, we finally officially confirmed the launch date.
The launch date being?
Do you have any guesses?
August 1st.
No. Go again.
Probably in October, because that's when all other video game things are happening.
So exactly. So if you were working on this game, would you then...
Probably wouldn't want to go in October.
Probably not in October.
Probably want to get out ahead of October.
Ahead of that, okay.
Yeah.
But not too far ahead.
Not too far ahead, because you still want to be in that sort of fall retail window.
How does September 23rd sound to you?
That sounds like a pretty
That sounds like
date.
a date! So the Guardians of the Galaxy playset will be available September 23rd at launch of Disney Infinity Marvel Superheroes. The Guardians of the Galaxy playset comes with Star-Lord and Gamora, and then the playset piece, which gives you access to the Guardians of the Galaxy playset. About a 6 to 8 hour game, 10 hours for the completionist if you want to do all the different side missions and get all the different collectibles inside of it.
Sure, and those collectibles, of course, feed back into the toy box mode.
That's right. The toy box mode is back and new and improved. But before I go and start bragging about the amazing work the guys at Avalanche did on the toy box mode this year,
we'll let you get there.
Well, yeah, exactly. Don't worry, Chris. I will take this opportunity to get there and brag about my guys. But before we do that, last year, a lot of our fans were saying, hey, what's going on with the fact that Jack Sparrow can't go inside of the world of Toy Story? Or how come Buzz Lightyear can't go inside the world of Cars? The reason why we did that is because, thematically it doesn't make sense to the story. And besides, we've got this toy box mode where that mashup happens naturally and whatnot. So inside of Marvel stories, though, characters can and often do crossover storylines. So
they certainly do.
All of our playsets have characters that cross over. The Guardians of the Galaxy playset, I'm happy to announce, will have Iron Man as well as Nova crossover from the Avengers playset and the Spider-Man playset, respectively. And they are going to have exclusive missions and exclusive content, stories as to why Iron Man has made it
Why
to
would
nowhere.
he ever show up in nowhere?
To help out the Guardians of the Galaxy in their quest to destroy Ronan. So you will absolutely see that.
Always a helpful guy, that Tony Stark.
Always a helpful guy.
Yeah.
And let's not forget about Nova. He's no schlep either.
I have no idea who that is.
You don't?
I gotta be honest with you, John. My Marvel knowledge is like a B-.
It's a B-.
Well, I mean, looking at this table, maybe it's more of a B+. Let's take a scan around here because we've got a lot of the heroes from Marvel's, from Disney Infinity Marvel superheroes.
That's right.
We'll take
As
a
well
look.
as some Disney characters.
As well as some Disney characters out front, of course, Merida and Maleficent that you guys announced earlier this summer.
Yes.
As well as Tinkerbell, which is the gateway for my 3.5-year-old niece to be obsessed for Disney Infinity.
Well, let's
with
be
Disney
honest.
Infinity.
I know you're saying your 3.5-year-old niece, but it's really probably secretly
Was
you.
it that transparent,
It's
John?
secretly
Seeing right through me.
She's actually an incredibly powerful character in the game. Internally, we call her the female Iron Man.
Oh, really?
But she doesn't shoot repulsor rays. Obviously, she's using her little wand and stuff. But she's got full-on flight, and then she also uses a wand. She's got a crazy super move inside the game as well. Allows her to attack all different enemies on screen. Speaking of super moves,
Yes.
so
please
this
do.
year, one of the key things that we upgraded inside the game was we added a skills and attributes system. So
Oh my.
Matt has
That's a
this
skill tree if I ever saw
That's
one.
a skill tree if you've ever seen one. So now as your characters level up, you earn skill points, and then you can spend those skill points to upgrade your character's different moves. Like you can have Star-Lord now dual wield his pistols. You can there's a super move that he has where he's got a rocket jump. He's got other ones where he can actually throw down turrets, which is something that you'll see inside the film. He has kind of this cool move. I don't want to spoil it. I'll try not to.
He already spoiled the whole film for me. That's fine.
That was it? The whole way over here, Matt, he's just telling you the
Yeah.
plot points. Like,
Yeah.
and then they said this, and it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, it literally was like that, where it was like, oh my God, Groot, he's the heart of the film. And like, oh.
I mean, I guess so. Unbiased opinion, right? If you're still talking about something after the fact, that must mean that it.
Sure, made an impression.
Yeah, it made an impression.
Absolutely.
And to be fair, it's like, I remember when we were talking about Guardians, when we first started making this, and you were like, the Guardian, like, what are the Guardians? And I remember it was like me and Christian were explaining it to you, and you're like, wait. So there's a raccoon.
Two Marvel nerds on my team.
Nerd. But yeah, we
Yeah.
were explaining like Groot and Rocket to him, and like I remember originally, and you're like, wait, he only says I am Groot, and we're like, yeah, and it's like that
He's
sounds
played
terrible.
by Vin Diesel.
He's like,
Bit of a stretch
he's like a
role.
Pokemon. He can only say that
Only I am
three
Groot.
phrases.
Yeah, it's all through inflection. It's like the most random like thing, and like a lot of people don't believe it. And like when they go see the movie, they'll be like, "Oh wow, Vin Diesel just recorded like 100 different versions of I am Groot, I am Groot, I am Groot."
So
He's
yeah,
got a few too.
yeah, he absolutely. I mean, he says it while he's brushing his teeth before he goes to bed at night. All right, so the characters, though, going back to these
Skill tree and all these super moves. you can
Yeah,
unlock,
skill
yeah.
tree and the super moves. So that applies not only for all the Marvel characters that are inside of the game, but also for all the new Disney characters, and
And
as you would expect, for all the old Disney characters.
going back.
So what's cool is that now you can take your, older Rapunzel character that you might have had from the first version of Disney Infinity. Of course, she works inside of Disney Infinity Marvel Superheroes in the toy box mode. But our vision with this whole platform is that as we put in new gameplay mechanics and new gameplay features, our intention is that our older characters will still be relevant with all the new stuff that we're doing. So we're making sure that we've added this big skill trees and attributes system, and that all the older characters now will be able to level up.
Going back and designing that for all the Incredibles, all the monsters.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You explained it better than I probably did.
And so that way, it makes sense because if you go in the toy box, you're choosing between characters, of course. A couple of them have super moves, the other don't.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like these seem a little bit outdated. but
Yeah.
It's neat
So-
that you guys are updating them.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, is that our intention is as we add new gameplay mechanics, as we add new features, that those older characters will take advantage of those in unique and interesting ways. And it all comes down to, I mean, just our developer on this is Avalanche Software in Salt Lake City. They're an amazing group of guys. It's a big studio, and they're putting a lot of love and care into Infinity as a platform. Speaking of which, I think another thing that's kind of fun about this is that Guardians of the Galaxy specifically is co-developed by Studio Gobo. They're actually located in Brighton. They had worked on the Pirates of the Caribbean playset with us for the first version of Infinity. So they got to dive real deep into the Guardians of the Galaxy, the script and all the different film elements to bring this to life. And that's, we talk about it being a platform, that's the idea. We're going to bring other developers in to work with Avalanche to create, I mean, because there's just such an incredible treasure chest of IP at Disney to work with, right?
It's incredible. I mean, to look at this table, which is predominantly Marvel with a few smatterings of Disney, and then to think of all this stuff that you guys have tread on already, and then to walk the Comic-Con show floor. I mean, boom, there's the Avengers, there's Hulk, there's some Stitch, there's some Tinkerbell stuff out there.
Yeah.
There's Spider-Man, there's all these properties that fall under the Disney umbrella, and you guys just must walk around these places and think like, oh, we could maybe bring those in. We see a big line over here. I mean, it seems like you have this like massive catalog to draw from. How do you decide who's the next one? I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy, the movie comes out, it makes sort of a natural choice.
Right. I mean, it's out there. Everyone's talking about the film. The film's totally awesome.
But then how do you decide sort of what direction to go in next? Because there are just so many.
It's interesting that you say that, because so last year we ran a poll on our Facebook page, like kind of covert. Like just say, hey, what characters would you like to see join Disney Infinity? And the #1 most requested character was Stitch.
Really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
And so
a lot of Stitch fans
that's
out there?
why we never would have guessed that.
Yeah.
So that's why we ended up bringing Stitch to the platform for Disney Infinity 2.0. Second most requested character, Merida, and then Tinkerbell was in there as well. So there's of course other characters that were requested, but again, I mean, it kind of speaks to, we try to be really, really close with our fans.
Yeah.
And we try to be really, really close to listen to what they want and make sure that we bring their characters to life on the platform in a way that's a lot of fun. You know, that really is good, strong gameplay mechanics. I mean, when you start thinking about how do you bring Tinkerbell, and make her a really fierce character that can rumble with the likes of, Spider-Man or Venom. And so, I mean, that's a really, really unique challenge.
Yeah, to
for,
try to
for the
achieve
guys
sort
at
of
Avalanche.
parity there of, not just of ability, right, but also of kind of like tone and sure, like it's fun to be playing with all these different characters in the same game doing the same thing.
It was interesting. Last year we saw that boys didn't mind playing with any of the girl characters so long as the girl characters were powerful. And then obviously having such strong female characters like the Walt Disney Company has, bringing those to the platform actually attracted a lot of female players to the Infinity platform. So it was, it's been a really, really interesting experience, and as we continue developing and watching how people are actually consuming Infinity as a game, it's wild to work with them, right?
Absolutely. We've got some questions coming in over Twitter here for you guys.
Okay.
Game Unboxing wants to see some crossover character in action. I mean, I see Iron Man on the table here. We're showing off Gamora here, but is it possible we could see a little crossover action?
Is that unlocked right now, Matt?
No, it isn't. So,
why don't you explain how that works, Matt?
I can perfectly explain how
Let's
it works.
hear it.
So how it works is, so you may have noticed that in the environment I've been picking up these tokens that have either Iron Man or Nova's face on it. You collect 10 of those, and then you're going to be able to unlock that character to be able to play in this playset.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically so we can get past like the tutorial and we can teach them using the characters and have that tight scripted experience with things that we know the powers they have. So we didn't have to plan for, Iron Man, who's awesome, but he can fly everywhere, and all the Guardians, they can't. So it's like a little difficult because, Iron Man could be able to like fly all over the environment and bypass a lot of the
Iron Man doesn't need to throw a barrel to destroy a barrier. He just hops over it.
Exactly. So that's why we were like, okay, well, we want to make sure we have a very tight experience in the very beginning. So we wanted to, give that tight experience and then open it up so you can play however you want to play.
Right on.
I explained that pretty well.
You did. Game unboxing. Here, put that camera on me. Game unboxing. We will upload a video for you on the internets that shows Iron Man as well as
characters
Nova crossing over into Guardians.
Do we want to talk about?
My word.
We want to talk about these real quick.
What are those?
So these are our new circular power discs. We added 2 new flavors. This one right here is called a team-up disc. Let's see if I can find the camera. This is actually a rare one. This one is Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy. So what I do is I put it underneath the character.
Here we go.
There you go.
Yondu.
Focus.
Just hold it in front of you again.
It's so weird. I feel like tapping this to make it focus.
I know. It's not going to work.
That's not how this iPhone works.
So, and then the other one right here, this is actually a costume swap for Gamora. So I'm going to put both these down so we can show off these 2 new power discs. So what's
stacking them?
Yeah, stacking them 2 at a time. So what's really cool about the the costume swap is it does, like, the costume will only work on Gamora herself. Like, she'll only have the costume change.
You
but
can't
the
give
buff,
Groot green hair?
No, we can't. But you'll get the buff. So that's the cool
okay.
thing.
Yeah,
So,
it still work no
It'll
matter
still
what.
apply, yeah.
Yeah. So this is actually her costume primarily from like the comics and stuff like that, like right now. So, and then as you can see above that, there's the Yondu team up. It charges up, and then once it's fully charged, I can hit up on the D-pad, and then he shows up and starts fighting with me.
All right.
And we've like announced a bunch of these. Like there was Iron Patriots. There was
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier. Thank you.
There's White Tiger. Practice this before you get on a camera in front of Chris Waters. What are you doing, man? All right,
That's what you're here for, John.
ashamed.
Yeah, don't worry, guys, I got this. So these are actually a new type of disc that we're also introducing this year. Two of these come with the starter pack. Boom, pull it in, boys. We call these toy box games.
Closer, closer. There we go.
Oh yeah, I have to have it right next to the face.
So last year, our fans had said, "Hey, it's really cool that you're releasing characters like Anna and Elsa and Wreck-It and Vanellope, but they're only playable inside the toy box mode. We'd really love to see some structured content for these characters." So we kind of went to the drawing board and we said, "How can we create a game mode that potentially takes place in the toy box where it makes sense to have a character like Wreck-It and a character like Vanellope alongside a character like Maleficent? They're playing in some sort of structured content mode."
Okay.
So what we came up with is what we're calling toy box games. So these are structured games that take place in the toy box. Campaigns are about 3 to 4 hours long, and our intention is that over time we're going to be introducing new gameplay genres as toy box games. So, for example, the two that come with the starter pack is one's called Assault on Asgard, and it's a tower defense game. So it has this light campaign that's all about defending Asgard from various frost giants that Loki has summoned to bring to Asgard. Now, the other toy box game that comes with the starter pack, since we've announced Guardians, we can finally begin talking about, is a dungeon crawler, and it's called Escape from the Kiln.
No kidding.
And so it actually uses, inside the toy box, we've added this brand new auto creator feature where we procedurally generate worlds now. It actually uses that procedural generation system to create different levels of the Kiln prison that you then can play with any Marvel character or any Disney character. So we've announced that those two are coming inside of the Disney Infinity Marvel Superhero Starter Pack. And we've also brought up, we've got 2 Disney toy box games that are going to be available in the fall based on 2 different Disney franchises.
That you'll be talking about at a
That
later
I'll be
date.
talking about when PR lets me finally start talking about it.
So these toy box games, like a dungeon crawler, tower defense, the toy box is, a lot about giving people sort of as much freedom as they want to create their own stuff. But you guys have also introduced things that, sort of auto-population things that help folks along the way that don't want to, place every tree and every building.
Why don't you load that up here real quick while we're talking?
It seems like the toy box games, that's sort of you can build a toy box level and it'll have a goal or something.
Yeah.
And you can upload that and share it.
Yeah.
This sort of games are just sort of like a longer form, more structured thing. Is there any thought of maybe letting people chain together a few things or sort of upload something that's a bit bigger than just their current toy box levels that you're allowing?
So yes, but we're gonna. Are you guys ready? We're gonna go in the weeds here.
All right.
Okay, so right now, so you can create a toy box right now.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're right. Last year, everyone's like, "Hey, I love the toy box mode, but placing down each one of these bricks can be a bit daunting. What can we do to make that easier for players?" So we integrated this auto creator feature that allows us to procedurally generate different environments. Matt, why don't you show one of these real quick? So if you guys are looking right now on screen, he's got Rocket there. Go ahead and press the. We'll pull up this ribbon here. Now go up to the builders and creators, just so we can kind of show how this works.
And as you can see, there's even more toys this time.
There it is.
All right.
So hit the treehouse so people can see this. So this is a treehouse creator. When he puts this down, every single time he puts one of these down, it'll actually go and begin
Blam.
procedurally generating a treehouse. Now it uses all the different pieces of the treehouse, and every single time it's different. He can go and use that, put that in a different location of his toy box. It'll build a totally different treehouse from there. Doesn't just apply to treehouse pieces. It also applies to race tracks. It applies to terrain. It applies to throw down a castle. I think that one's kind of fun. So we'll pull this one up here, and he'll go over to the castle creator, which is right here.
So Pirate Town?
Yeah, because if you want to build your own pirate town, you can do that. So he actually, the way that this tool works, he actually draws the volume that he wants the castle to populate. And pull it, or you can
I'm gonna do it out there.
do it
Out
in
into
space. A little bit.
space.
I'm doing a space castle.
So like, yeah, pull that out a little bit. And then here in a second, does the calculation, automatically goes and it builds that castle for him. Then he can put ground underneath it and that kind of stuff. But basically, in the past, this used to take people a very, very long time to create
themselves,
sophisticated toy boxes like this, and now you can do it pretty quickly. Now, regarding kind of creating more complicated things, we have integrated into the game right now doors. And the primary intention for the doors was to be able to allow players to create interiors. So they could basically build a structure, place a door on it, and then go in and begin custom creating the interior. They can add additional rooms, they can add couches, they can add banners, and kind of make their own virtual dollhouse.
It's just a separate area. It's not beholden to the geography of what you see in the outer toy box.
Exactly. So I always say it's kind of like the TARDIS, right? Where it's like you can actually build just a small brick and then put a door on it and then make the inside as big as you want to. Now, players can also use these doors to link together multiple toy boxes.
Okay.
So this is where now we're kind of taking our game creation stuff to the next level. So you can build an entire toy box and then you can lock the camera at a 2D perspective and make a platformer, and then at the end of that level, that toy box, place a door that once you go through loads up another toy box that is now the second level of your platformer that you've made.
There you go.
So, I mean, we've got stuff like that. We've added the ability to tag NPCs with chat boxes to give quest text. It's all done via CleanSpeak, so it requires an internet connection. But basically, you can place down an NPC, type in what you want the quest text to be, and then you can you can make the conditions like, yes, I'll accept the quest, no, I won't accept the quest. And then once it goes through CleanSpeak, so obviously no one's writing something nasty, then it'll allow you to add that into your toy box. So lots and lots of more stuff. We're actually having a summit for our toy box master artists.
A summit?
Yeah, in mid-August.
You're convening all of them?
Yeah, we're like from all around the world, right? We've got guys from the States, we've got guys from Europe, we've got the two brothers from Spain coming.
That's it, yeah, Spain.
It's like it's so anyway. At that summit, we're going to be going like way in depth with some of the new features that we've added to the toy box to allow players to really create some incredible designs. Show the racetrack.
Okay.
This is like one of my favorite ones. So after you've built a world, you can actually, Matt will hit a button. It takes a minute to do the calculation, but it'll actually procedurally generate a racetrack for you to race on. It actually goes and it looks at all the different objects in your environment so it doesn't intersect with anything.
Okay.
And then it will build the racetrack and it will complete the circuit. And it will put AI splines on the racetrack so that when he places there it goes. So when he places enemy racers down there, they'll actually realistically race along that track with him. So it's funny because in the beginning, like you look at this, you're like, oh, it's Disney Infinity. It's probably
it's kind of like action figures.
Cool. Yeah,
punching some dudes. Oh, yeah, all right.
Like, and then it's like when you actually start, peeling back the layers of the onion, like it's a pretty sophisticated piece of software. It's like it's the Disney magic, right? It's like when you go to our parks, as an adult, you have just as much fun as a kid. Because you're like, how did they do that? So I mean, it's kind of fun. We're really proud of it, and the guys at Avalanche have kicked. Yeah, Matt's going to race right now in the Autopia car as Iron Man against Lightning McQueen. Is that what's going on?
That's what's going on.
I mean, against Lightning.
Nice. Wow.
Wow.
Well, Lightning. To be fair, Lightning also rocketed off the course, so and he's a legendary racer.
We'll fix that bug before it comes out September 23rd.
Yeah, so speaking of, we actually had another question on Twitter. An eager fan, Amazing Junior 87, wanting to know if there's any pre-order links for the collector's edition.
There should be.
Anything like
there
that.
There should be, yeah. So we announced, for those of you that don't know, we announced a collector's edition. We entered into a great partnership with the guys at Sony. And inside of this collector's edition is the starter pack, which is typically $75. Then you've got Hawkeye, which comes additionally. You've got Captain America and the Incredible Hulk. So we're actually not planning on releasing the Incredible Hulk until the end of October. But if you pick up this collector's edition, you can get the Hulk at launch.
Can Hulk out on September 23rd.
On September 23rd. And he's one of the most fun characters and one of the most powerful characters in the game as well. And it comes with this big, gigantic diorama display that we've made that features the Frost Beast, which is one of the big bosses from the Avengers playset. And the whole thing lights up, and it has bases where you can put all the different characters, and those light up as well. And it even has a little 7th area for another character that we haven't announced yet.
Teasing me.
I'm teasing you. Right. So, if you are the true Disney Infinity Marvel Superheroes fan and the true collector, you definitely want to pick up that CE.
Very cool, John. Matt, thanks so much for coming on, showing off Disney Infinity Marvel Superheroes. September 23rd, give me the platform rundown right here.
Platform rundown?
All of them.
PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox 360, Xbox One, Wii U, iOS, PC, Windows 8. Did I get them all? I think I got them all.
Vita.
And PlayStation Vita.
And PlayStation
Vita. But it won't be out on PlayStation Vita September 23rd. PlayStation Vita is coming early next year. But you know how? Do you have a Vita?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean it's a great piece of hardware.
They're fantastic. I think we're going to be playing some Spelunky matches in between
Oh
segments here.
no! Oh no! Oh,
You got to
man.
come on by and die horribly with us.
Yeah, no, I'm. That was actually the last game I played where I threw a controller and broke my TV.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I mean it's tough. But I've seen some of those speed runs that people do on that. It's incredible.
It's magical.
It's incredible.
Well, thank you so much, guys, for coming
you,
on,
man.
showing it off. Have a great Comic-Con here, showing
Yeah.
off the Guardians and all the whole menagerie here. Very cool. Disney Infinity, Marvel Superheroes.